In this video, we're going to talk about an approach to language learning and teaching that originated in the 1920s and 1930s, but had a remarkable effect on language teaching practices, even today. Yet, before we move on, if you're enjoying the content on our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video. Also, don't forget to save and share this video with your friends and family. The situational language teaching. The situational language teaching, also known as the oral approach, is an approach that, although it is not used as a method today, has had a long-lasting effect on practices in language teaching. It was initiated and developed by Harold Palmer, A.S. Hornby, and Michael West in the 1920s and 1930s. The main characteristics of the situational language teaching. The scholars of the situational language teaching believe that language teaching begins with speaking. That is, oral proficiency was the main focus of the approach. The only language in the classroom was the target language. No translation was allowed. There were also no synonyms, explanations, paraphrasing, or definitions for the words because these techniques were thought to decrease the effect of lexical items. The main focus of the approach was on listening and speaking. Reading and writing were taught at the advanced stages. Vocabulary was used for the association of ideas. Around 2,000 general English words are taught. These words were selected based on a general service list of English words published by Michael West. These words were believed to be frequently used in English communication and authentic reading texts, so they could satisfy the learner's daily life needs. Grammar was graded from simple to complex and was taught with an inductive approach. Grammar was taught in a sentence-based approach and was limited to classroom situations. The teacher acts as a conductor and accuracy regulator in the class. The SLT is considered a scientific approach because it is systematic regarding selection, gradation, and presentation of the material. The teaching content, including grammar and vocabulary, is chosen based on learners' everyday needs. Vocabulary and grammar are graded in a linear sequence, from easy to complex. Reading and writing are introduced only when the students have learned sufficient lexical and grammatical items. And in the SLT, the techniques for the presentation of the materials are predetermined. The theory behind the SLT. The SLT enjoys two fundamental theories. The theory of language behind the approach is structuralism. It suggests that speaking is the basis of the language, the structure is at the heart of the language, and oral practice in the context is the way to learn the language. The psychological theory behind the SLT is behaviorism, in which the students should follow habit formation practices to learn the materials via repetition. The PPP in the SLT. One of the most significant and enduring language teaching practices that originated in the SLT is the PPP lesson format. The PPP stands for presentation, practice, and production. Firstly, the material is presented to students via text, audio, or visual. Then, controlled practice is carried out. Activities such as mechanical drills, transformations, fill-in the blank exercises, closed test activities, and multiple choice questions are practiced in this stage. At last, the learners are supposed to use their practiced material in their communication through dialogues. This lesson format was based on what Palmer had introduced as the steps of language learning. He believed that language learning has 3 steps. He pointed out that we receive the information in oral form, that is, from listening. Then, the information is fixed in the memory via repetition. And by using the information, the actual situation, and natural contexts, we learn the new information. The objectives of the SLT. One of the objectives of the SLT method was to teach all 4 basic language skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, respectively. Another objective was that the students become accurate in both pronunciation and grammar. No errors were accepted in order to avoid fossilization of errors. The other objective of the method was the automatic control of sentence patterns. That is, the students should produce the sentences without controlled thinking. The syllabus of the SLT. The SLT syllabus is a structural syllabus based on word lists. The structures are always taught within sentences and vocabulary is selected based on the word list. The role of learning and teaching activities in the SLT. The SLT uses different objects, realia, charts, and pictures to teach the new words. Guided repetitions, substitution activities, drills, oral-based reading and writing tasks, chorus, repetitions, and dictations are also used as teaching technique. The learner role in the SLT. In the SLT, learners are required to listen actively, repeat in groups and individually, answer the questions, and do the activities provided by the teacher. The teacher role in the SLT. The teacher in the SLT acts as a model for the students. They should be fluent and skillful and act as a conductor of an orchestra. The teacher's responsibilities are dealing with the timing of the class exercises, oral practice of the students, reviewing what the students have done, adjustment of the exercises and activities to the needs of the students, testing and evaluating of the students, and developing language activities other than the ones in the textbook. The role of instructional materials in the SLT. The SLT uses printed materials such as textbooks and visual aids and realia, as well as other objects to teach everyday vocabulary and grammar to the student. The sequence of activities in the SLT. First, there is listening practice. The teacher gets the student's attention and repeats an example of a pattern or word in isolation several times. Then, there is choral practice of the students in which students repeat what the teacher has said in large groups. Next, there is learner's individual imitation. Some students are chosen by the teacher to repeat what the teacher has said, and the teacher checks their pronunciation. After that, the teacher isolates the sounds, words, or group of words that the students have problems with and works on them. Subsequently, the teacher gets the students to ask and answer questions using these patterns. The next step is elicitation. At this stage, the teacher uses mime, prompt words, gestures, and realia to get the students ask questions and make statements or give examples for the patterns they have already learned. Following that, there will be many question-answer drills in the class. The teacher asks one of the students to ask a question from another student, and then that student asks the question from the next students in the class until almost all of the students in the class have practiced asking and answering the question. The last phase of the instruction regards the correction practices. When the students make mistakes, the teachers shake their head, repeat the erroneous form, directly correct the mistake, or ask a different student to correct it. The fact that the SLT does not allow mistakes, which is based on behavioristic psychology, can decrease the student's self-esteem. This can be regarded as one of the most important drawbacks of the SLT. That's all you need to know about the situational language teaching approach in order to apply the method in your classes and to pass your university test. So, if you're enjoying the content on our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video. Also, don't forget to save and share this video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.